Good morning, Becky. Thank you
Morning!
for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
How are you
Very
doing?
good. However, I'm just watching the rain rolling in, so I'm quite happy to be inside. I'm
Yeah,
wondering where the
yeah. Getting cozy. Have you got a cup of tea ready?
I have a very big cup of tea
Yeah,
ready.
I've got my China mug today, and it's got a lid on it. So when I'm chatting away, it keeps it warm without.
Amazing. We're a very common brand of hand painted from up the M6,
Yeah.
and we're old school around here. We have
Oh
a
yeah,
good old
nice.
pot.
Very
And
good.
I was talked into a tea cozy. I was like, they're not going to work. No, they're amazing.
I've got one my girlfriend knitted, and I'll post a picture of it later today. But it's like a pineapple, so it looks a bit silly, but it's funny at least.
So, how many tea cozies can you
Yeah.
have?
No.
As many as you amounts of tea. What tea have you got?
I've just got some PG tips again today. So I have a normal chat, like I've chatted with a couple of different people about this. Yeah, PG is my go-to.
Yeah.
They kind of gifted me some tea bags for like this kind of thing to enjoy. And with it being plastic-free July, like their new stuff's biodegradable as well, which is like a good step in the right direction.
And that was our move for teapot.
Yeah.
We went plastic free 18 months ago. So all of our tea is loose tea.
Very good.
But we had a big tea cupboard to begin with. Now it's got more ridiculous. So
right. We'll get started. So, Becky, I know you as an occupational therapist, but paediatrics as well. So in our line of work, I would find that people always get physiotherapy and occupational therapy mixed up. They're not really sure what the difference is, or they go for like the real cliche of, oh, you're a physio, you do massage, or you're an OT, you do basket weaving and things like that. So I thought we could maybe start off with you sharing a bit about what occupational therapy is.
Yeah, and that it is not the same as occupational health. Occupational health people are usually nurses advising people are safe to work and medically work. So occupational therapists, the basket weaving kind of analogy kind of came from, we date back to the First, Second World War in rehabbing soldiers post-war, so PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, rehabbing them after physical injury. So they used a lot of arts and crafts, so basket weaving, making wicker chairs, woodwork, those types of things. So that's where kind of OT came from. And lots of OT schools, even when I went to uni, had wood workshops for the OTs to go and learn these skills. And then it's evolved a lot more over the last few years. And so what I say to the children and families is I always offer them £1 million to say, can you tell me, do you know what an occupational therapist does? And if you get it right, you're up to a winner. Because most people go, no. So we look at things a person does every day. So from the moment you get up, you need to wash, dress, do self-care activities. So we look at washing, dressing, feeding, being able to brush your hair, brush your teeth, but also that you're getting good quality sleep, because sleep is a really important part of managing your energy throughout the day, to make sure you can do those self-care things or the meal preparation things, or to be able to feed yourself, the essential things you have to do. Lots of kids, I say, they're the things you have to do. You might not want to do them, like having the shower, brushing your teeth, brushing your hair, but you got to do them. Then we look at productivity. So for adults, that is going to work, bringing in an income, fulfilling your role as a mother, a father, a caregiver, a brother or a sister or something like that. And for children, that's school. Their productivity is school being and performing all the school roles. So being able to record your written work, being able to sit and listen to the teacher to learn, being able to interact with your peers, being able to regulate your arousal levels so that you can let off steam at break but feel comfortable to come back into the class to sit down, being able to tolerate being in a busy, noisy environment, and then being able to switch it off to sit and learn. Then we also look at what we call leisure. So hobbies, interests, what people like to do in their spare time. And as OTs, I think of life as a cake. So you've got slices of cake, and if you have a medical condition, a disability, an injury, your cake, your proportionate cake of how much of your day is self-care activities, productivity, or leisure becomes distorted. It's not what you know it to be. Your sleep portion of your cake might need to increase for quite a while, and you might have to use more energy for your self-care element of the day. So then you don't have enough energy to be doing productivity or leisure activities. So you work with people to work out where in their recovery or their development, where do we need to work on those goals? What are their goals? What are the family's goals? And we break down all those activities and work out performance components that are impacting on it. So I guess the difference between physio and OT, again, correct me, Jack, if I'm wrong, I use this one, is physios work on walking. So you've got a broken leg, the physio will get you up and walking. Focus on that. We'll look at functionally what you were like before, where you want to get to. OTs will go, okay, in your recovery, we know you can't go to work yet, but you need to be building up your stamina. Okay, so let's grade and adapt the walking around your house. So do we need to get you aids so that you can sit and perch when in the kitchen and have a little break before walking to the other side of the kitchen? Do we need to adapt your stairs or put something in place to make it easier for walking up the stairs? Or getting in and out of the bath? Or actually, how can we change that activity in the garden so you can do your gardening, building up your stamina and that piece of your cake of life? And do we need to raise things up? Okay, what is it that we need to do? So kind of we're the added functional outer layer on that physical movement that physios do. I guess I'm slightly different as well. One of my specialties is upper limb rehab. So often families get really confused because I'm really pro upper limb movement, function. Actually, you need that movement and that power in that muscle to be able to do these two-handed skills. So sometimes it is that real transdisciplinary shift across. Is that OT? Is it physio? Am I doing this from a limb therapist? What are our goals and who's the best person and has the best skill mix to work on those goals?
Yeah, so definitely not just basket weaving.
In a nutshell.
Yeah, in a nutshell. Yeah, so yeah, you're right. I mean, physiotherapy is holistic, so we try to consider all of those things. But yeah, the main way I'd normally try to differentiate is think of the name as well. So physical and physio kind of tie in nicely, and then your occupational and your day-to-day things that you're trying to do is how I try to really simplify it for the families and stuff. But as you said, we work together more often than not, which is probably why people get a bit mixed up. So the everyday tasks that we maybe take for granted that some people perceive as being impossible, we make possible through our joint work. And we were talking the other day as well about like the importance of getting involved early, so early intervention. And then like, during the lockdown, a lot of people have taken to yoga. My girlfriend's yoga mats are over in the corner, and I know you're putting together a baby yoga class. So I thought you might want to talk a little bit about that today as well.
Yeah, and I think yoga is definitely one of those transdisciplinary things. Is it physio? Is it OT? And I think I come at yoga with my OT yoga hat on, really. I've done a lot of yoga on and off through OT over the years, and I worked in an integrated therapy education school, and we found it was a really grounding activity to get the kids in the morning in the zone. They could come in, we could settle down, we could get some emotions and physical unsettlement that they had to kind of, you could see it in their bodies, out. We could bring them and regulate them and then start the next thing. So we found it was really helpful for transitioning them into more demanding parts of the day. So I've always used it and used things like yoga gorilla cards and stuff. And then early intervention is a real passion of mine. I know that the first 1,000 days of a child's life are really influential on how their brain develops and how they grow. And for many children who've had a difficult or challenging start or an unusual route into the world, they might have come out of the womb too quickly and bombarded with all this sensory information, and the families have just not had the experience they're anticipating. So we know we want to get in there early to support these babies, to make sure the parents feel equipped emotionally to manage these children that might be having sensory emotional regulation difficulties, might not be moving and meeting their early milestones as they were expecting. And so kind of been always doing baby groups and thought, right, I need to develop this more, because groups are a really great environment, especially use of baby yoga, baby massage, baby sensory groups, a great way of exposing families to developmental opportunities that are going to help that child. And so started to think and explore, right, loads of people go to massage, and baby yoga's got growing momentum. What is it? And you get lots of mother and baby yoga. So the mom's going, and it's about getting the mom back into being exercise and bonding with the baby and doing few moves for mom, few moves for baby. Whereas baby yoga is predominantly focused on the child. And like massage, it's about learning your baby's cues and your baby's what they're communicating, so what they're telling you. Oh, they're feeling settled, they're feeling dysregulated. They also make really natural yogis, because they're in the present moment. It's all about how they're feeling.
Things that we might struggle to do.
Yeah, they love to move. They crave movement, and yet they also crave stillness and containment and bonding and grounding. And so baby yoga focuses on that. But what's really great for it is for children with additional needs who aren't naturally getting those natural progression and movement opportunities. So they're not rolling, they're not following that normal developmental sequelae quite naturally. They need a bit of encouragement. Baby yoga is great at helping give the babies opportunity for movement experiences. So it might be rolling, so stimulating the vestibular system when they're being quite passive in a neonatal intensive care cot, quite open. It's about giving containment holds and integrating containment holding patterns. It's about parents feeling confident how to grade and adapt tummy time for developmental play opportunities.
Yeah.
But I think more importantly, it's about putting parents into situations that you coach them to learn these skills, to integrate little and often opportunities into these children's everyday life. And by building the right group dynamics, helping create self-supporting communities so that they feel confident about their baby's needs, and build a peer support network with similar parents in similar positions. So when they go into those mainstream groups, they're not feeling like, well, Azalea baby is doing this week. Why is your child not doing this? They feel that they know their baby so well, they can be like, because we're working on this.
Yeah.
Because my baby's telling me this in this moment. They're not sat crawling and playing today because they're feeling a bit stressed out, and they're showing that to me with their tongue thrusting or their whatever. Yeah. It's not a day for play for us. Yeah, so it's about that.
Yeah, really interesting stuff as well. You can see how passionate you are about it. The problem I have with these recordings is that I'm trying to keep them short, and I think we could talk about these kind of things for ages or forever. They're so interesting. Especially working with children. I know people say to me all the time, what on earth would you do with a baby? But it's not as you'd think of it as an adult physio. So yeah, really interesting stuff. I'll include like lots of, with everyone I'm doing, I've put in like little mentions for Be Independent Occupational Therapy, so people can get in touch, they can have a look. And alongside that, if there's any kind of top tips or anything you'd maybe want to give before we wrap up. Okay, right, really quickly. I guess I've got 2 top tips. One's for parents, and I guess one's for professionals. So that's whether that's new grad therapists coming out. My top tip for parents is repetition. Repetition is the key to learning, it's the key to success, and it's the key to mastery. So your child might need repetition of a new skill, of a new activity, little and often, when they're in the right place to be practicing that skill. My advice to professionals is to listen, to really listen to the families. You're in the fortunate position they're allowing you into their space, their home. You can learn so much from families and different patients, and be bespoke. Be bespoke to your advice that you give them, and make sure you're listening to what they need and what they're trying to tell you that they need. Yeah, great. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. And thank you. Try shutting me up. It's really hard. Don't worry. Great. Thank you very much. Right. Take care. Bye.